Por 3 años tuve que tener 2 trabajos. Trabajaba aquí en un restaurante y pues era muy cansado para mí porque pues aquí es bastante trabajo y luego aparte salía cansada para trabajar en un restaurante.
Most of the ladies have children, and at the wages that we're being paid, they can't pay their bills, so they have to use HUD or food stamps or some kind of government assistance and get a second job, and they have a full-time job. That shouldn't be happening. If you have a full-time job with benefits, you shouldn't have to get government assistance, but they have to.
Like my baby, his pictures the other week, well, like 2 months ago, he needed his pictures, but I needed money to pay something else, pay another bill, and I couldn't get his pictures. And like I love to give him more money to eat every day, extra money, to take to school to eat, but I can't. To get something extra at school.
If we don't pay families, and many of these families are single females, enough to care for their children, then the cost is exorbitant. The public schools cannot hire enough special related service personnel to work with the children who do not have nutritional needs met, who do not have enhancement of a book to read at home. The costs are enormous.
Most of my income was going to daycare. That was one of the reasons a few years ago why I decided to start working evenings. Because I had 2 children in daycare at the time. And so I started working evenings so I could take care of them during the day and my husband could take care of them at night, and we didn't have to pay the daycare. Because with 2 children, even making $10 or $11 an hour, most of my money was going to daycare. I didn't have anything else, He was, having to take care of all the rest of the bills because I couldn't pay anything else with my wage.
Porque vemos que solo con uno y nos estamos viendo muy afligidos porque no nos alcanza el sueldo y si esperamos que si nos aumentan, pues nosotros ya vamos a ganar más, vamos a poder tener otras cositas, ¿verdad? Y entonces ahí sí ya vamos a pensar si podemos tener otro niño. Pero por ahorita estamos con que no es suficiente.
We have a higher than the state's average of poverty in our county. We have the lowest unemployment rate, but we have, more than the state's average of poverty. So for those that are living at poverty or below, there are no affordable rents. They're not able to pay the market rate based on their income. Generally, the standard guide is you should not pay more than 30% of your gross income for your housing cost.
The house I live in is old, and the gas bill, it'd be $200, $300, $200 to $300 in the wintertime because the house is old, it's not insulated, and that's when I have trouble. This is what keeps us warm right here, the stove. The stove, what I leave on to keep it warm. Yeah, they're gonna catch on fire. Because all the stitching cars and this thing, I don't know what you call it, running from that light is dangerous. Scared when I come back, the house be burned up. I'm scared to leave my boy here, I'm scared it's gonna burn up. If it's a gas bill, I got to pay it if it's cold. But if it wasn't cold, I wouldn't pay the gas bill. I'd, pay on something else. But I had to buy food.
I was in the office and there was one of our employees was on the telephone and she was calling around to people she knew trying to find money so that she could afford to buy food for her children. And it's very striking when you hear things like that. People don't sit around at work and complain, oh God, I can't buy food for my kids, and everybody complains, oh, we don't make enough money, but it's not specifics, and you don't really get a sense of the dire straits these people live in from day to day. It's not a matter of, oh, can I pay next month's bill, maybe cash is gonna run short. It's, can I pay for today's expenses?
In 2004, the food bank distributed close to 1.7 million pounds of food, and that was through about 46 agencies in the Brazos Valley. And we estimate that that reached over 39,000 people. If you want to talk about just Brazos County, that was over 29,000. So it's a high percentage of our total is in Brazos County.
I paid my light bill, my insurances, my personal insurances that I have on myself and my children. I had about $20 left to buy groceries with, so that wasn't enough really to buy groceries. I just went to the store and picked up a few items, you know, to try to tide us over until the next 2 weeks.
One of my employees, she has insurance taken out for both herself and her family, her child and her husband. Now, whenever insurance is taken out of her paycheck, she takes home 30 cents on her paycheck. Now, fortunately, this woman is married and has a husband who also works, so there's food money. But we have a lot of single mothers who probably are making less than this person because she's considered a lead worker.
One of the things that we do find when we look at health and health issues with different populations is that we have people who are at the lower end of the income bracket who have health problems in their 30s and 40s that people who are at a higher income level don't experience until they're probably 60 or even 70.
I see the doctor just say every other month, and that's, you've got a copay when you go in. And I take hypertension medicine, I take arthritis medicine, I take a blocker for the hypertension, and I take so many pills and things. It's just, and by the time you say $50 here, $50 here for each one of these prescriptions, that's a lot of money. And the copay it's not but $25 to go see the doctor. But then every time they give you all these medicines to try to keep you living, you just can't afford it.
Cada vez que uno va es una cuota de $25. Antes era de 20 o menos, de 15. Después ahora ya son $25. Entonces eso nos duele, pagar $25. ¿Qué tal si somos 3 en la familia aquí? Ajá, ¿qué tal va uno una semana, va el otro otra semana y va el niño la siguiente semana? Entonces son ahí $75 que vamos a pagar, a sacar ese dinero. Entonces, para que entre, está difícil.
That's a big misconception about the benefits. Benefits are good, but benefits are not free. Just imagine you only make $400 and you have to pay $150 of those dollars for your insurance for you and your children.
If your employer provides you with health insurance, that does not mean that you can afford to provide the health insurance to your children or your spouse. In many cases, it means you cannot. It's that or make that car payment. It's that or provide food for the family. It's that or make your utility payment this month. You know, I think some of the most skillful people in our community are those that are living in poverty because they manage to get more out of a dollar than the rest of us do.
The bills come in and you're trying to figure out how I'm going to pay this bill. How am I going to get my medicine here? How am I going to buy groceries? And the paycheck only goes so far. You know, you got to go over into next month. But you know, the months go and it just you never catch up.
Sí, es bien importante para que así vean que hay necesidades para todos y muchos hemos trabajado muchos años y no ha visto uno el resultado de lo que ha trabajado porque es muy poquito lo que gana uno.
I got a 3.2% merit raise last year. It raised my gross pay up, but I bring home less net pay after the merit raise because the merit raise didn't compensate how much the insurance went up and how much parking went up. So the merit raise actually did me no good. Yes, my gross pay is higher, but what I bring home is less.
I know of really, really good, reliable workers who hardly ever miss days who do not get merit raises because they're not popular or they're not liked. And that's the thing I don't like about merit raises is it's not always given by merit but by popularity. I like you, so I'm going to give you a raise. You're not that good a worker, but you know, you're on top, so you can have some money. And this other worker who works very, very hard, but I guess isn't kissing the right spot, doesn't get a dime.